Oh yeah, I was supposed to start speaking now. Hello, welcome. It's match number 1. Marika, you're here.
Yay!
So we continue with our qualifiers. It's the 7th of May now, so we're into a new month. And we're in Atlantic City, New Jersey again. And this is a qualifier for Group B of the World Wrestling League thing. Not a direct copy of the G1, definitely not. So we have Ted DiBiase here, up against Yokozuna. And clearly some good helping hands there of Bobby Heenan. And, oh yeah, the match is over already.
So quick.
Well, it was 2 minutes and 9 seconds, as it says on the screen now. But obviously I had to cut a lot down because we have 10 matches to get through in this video over these 2 weeks. So a win there for Ted DiBiase. Alright, match number 2 now. And this is a qualifier for Group A. So it's Roddington Piper against Jimmy Snuka. So, yeah. I just thought as well, I should probably mention from the previous match, Ted DiBiase, even though he's the $1 million champion, he didn't qualify automatically for the tournament like the Honky Tonk Man and Ric Flair did because of their championship belts. Just a little thing I thought I'd better mention.
Yeah.
I mean, he did just gift himself the championship. But you can see here that Roddy Piper's been fairly dominant. Jimmy Snuka's bleeding everywhere. Nearly got the 3 count there, but Jimmy Snuka managed to kick out. Stayed in the match, the Fijian. And Roddy Piper, the Scottish guy who was born in Saskatchewan, picks up the win.
And blood everywhere.
He's into Group A. So this one was 2 minutes and 42, slightly longer than the previous match, but just generally sort of average length for these.
Oh, bagpipes.
These games. Oh yeah.
Like that.
Loads of people hate them. I love them. Nothing says despair like the skirl of a bagpipe. Match number 3 now.
Quick reference to Frasier.
Just a quick one. And speaking of Frasier, that's set in Seattle. Where's Greg the Hammer Valentine from?
Seattle.
You're absolutely right. How did you know
that? Yeah, I just knew that piece of information.
You are full of knowledge. So he's very slowly walking down here. He's been on fire recently. He's had 2 very quick matches, beating his opponents in under 2 minutes. In the last few weeks, he beat King Kong Bundy 2 weeks ago in under 2 minutes, and then also Coco Beware about 4 weeks ago or something now. So here he's challenging the Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental Championship.
Let's see how long time that takes.
Yeah.
Because just when thinking about this, the entrance already takes quite a time.
Yeah. Here he comes, your favourite.
Oh, yay.
With Jimmy Hart. It's well documented that your favourite wrestler in the world is the Honky Tonk Man. There he is with his Intercontinental Championship. He's a Honky Tonk Man.
That's a catchy song, I have to say, but...
I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm bad.
Oh, definitely cocky, yeah.
Yep. Wayne Ferris.
I wouldn't say much about cool, but... I like his guitar, though.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't break it.
It generally... often got broken.
Wasted. Oh, God. Why did they zoom into that?
Why not? Zooming in on the belt while he shakes his hips around.
Oh, yeah, just the belt.
On his cock as well, that's what everyone wants to see. So Greg Valentine getting a big hammer on his back there. Really dominating Honky in the early stages of the match. I've cut out quite a lot here, but you can see he's taken some damage.
Yeah,
they ended up spilling to the outside and going up to the stage. One of Honky Tonk Man's tactics, trying to keep him out of the ring for as long as possible. And really, Valentine was just destroying him. Valentine, a pile driver there at the top of the stage. But he just couldn't get Honky Tonk back to the ring. And in under 2 minutes again, match ends by countout. Honky retains. match number 4 now. So we have a tag team match, and it's the Big Boss Man and the Undertaker. Not necessarily an established team. Hawk and Animal definitely an established team, and they're really even though the Boss Man's a much larger person, really both very strong boys. holding the Undertaker now, also a much larger man.
Yeah.
Some good double teaming here. To lift the Undertaker up like that and then to just destroy your legs by dropping him on them.
Yeah.
That can't be good.
No, definitely not.
But they really did do some good teamwork here. The Undertaker managing to dominate a little bit as well, as you would expect. Undertaker and Bossman, I think, well, they were in the same faction at one point, in the corporate ministry.
Okay.
But that was after the Undertaker hanged Big Boss Man in Hell in a Cell and killed him.
Okay.
That was a thing that actually happened. So in, let's see, is the time coming up? There it is, 4 minutes 11. Hawk and Animal managed to book their place in Group B. So Undertaker and Bossman are both just going to have to... Have they both qualified? Probably, yes.
Probably.
Bossman actually beat Animal to qualify for the Wrestling League. Yes. This one is the WWE Championship match now. Ric Flair's second defense. He's been champion for 29 days now. He defended once against Andre, and now he's defending against his tag team partner. His good friend, his Four Horsemen buddy, Arn Anderson the Enforcer. He's not actually from Minnesota like Finkel just said there. Oh, that was a weird thing. He's actually from Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, so after they won together, Arn and Flair, they beat Jake the Snake and Stone Cold Steve Austin to qualify for the Tag League. And they unsuccessfully challenged the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, but had a really good match in the process. As a sort of apology for losing the match, Ric Flair decided to give Arn Anderson a championship opportunity. So, yeah. Here he comes with Bobby Heenan. Will he get involved in the match? Who knows?
He never does.
I mean, he shouldn't. 'Cause, he's friends with Arn Anderson as well. He's one of his boys.
But is he loyal to Ric Flair?
Wants to keep his boy champion. His main boy. I actually said in a previous video that something looked right about Ric Flair being... I mean, it does. It looks nice on him. Certainly doesn't look out of place. But I looked it up because I was intrigued to know how many times he was WWE champion. Only twice.
Only twice, okay.
He was either NWA or WCW champion about... I think it was... Well, depends on how you count it, but... Either 16 or... No, wait, what is it? Altogether, he was 16 times world champion. So, like, 14 times he won the NWA or WCW championship. Something like that. Yeah, he held the WWE belt for quite a while in real life. Both times.
No wonder that you think that looks right. He's wearing that. Plus, that matches his robe quite well.
Yeah.
So.
Arn Anderson, a big tough boy. I remember seeing I had videos of him when I was a kid. He did most of his best work before I was born, really. Early 90s. Oh, well, mid-90s he was doing well in WCW. I think he was television champion. But I remember seeing him and just thought, he looks like a big, tough bastard.
Yeah, looks like that in here.
He's a man. With the beard and just his mass. He's a big boy. He was quite dominant early on. You can see Flair's taking a lot of punishment. But here Ric Flair's managing to go after Arn Anderson's legs. This match was actually technically a no disqualification match, but they never got the weapons out or anything. And I don't think Heenan got too involved. But in the end, Arn Anderson didn't actually tap out to Ric Flair's finishing move.
Wow.
But then he couldn't kick out of the pin. So, never mind. Ric Flair carries on as champion. 4 minutes 51, that one. So it's his second longest defense, I think. Yeah. Arn Anderson actually lasted longer than Andre the Giant. Nice. Which is a surprise in a way.
Yeah.
So Flair retains. Righty-ho. So it's a new week. It's the 6th week now of primetime wrestling. It's the 14th of May. And we're in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So here we have another Group A qualifier. And it's Sergeant Slaughter and Rick Rude. Rick Rude is actually someone who's from Minnesota.
Okay.
Not like Arn Anderson in the previous or the main event from last week. Yeah. Sergeant Slaughter much more powerful here, but Rick Rude managing to really do some damage. Somehow Sergeant Slaughter ended up bleeding from that pile driver.
Okay.
He was dropped on the back of his head, but the front of his face is bleeding. But the Rude Awakening here, a move that the Velveteen Dream's actually done quite recently.
Ah, okay. That's where he gets that from.
What Velveteen Dream gets it from, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2 minutes 44, another sort of averagey sort of length match. Rick Rude wins, so Sergeant Slaughter does not go into the World Wrestling League. Rick Rude had something to prove after losing in the Tag League qualifier. Alright, match number 2 now. And it's a tag team match, qualifier for Group B. And Greg Valentine quite obviously upset after his count-out draw in the Intercontinental Championship match last week. So he's out to kick some arse, as you would say. The British Bulldog and Michael Hayes are both, in a way, they're both tag team wrestlers, but not as a team together. I don't think they've ever even been anywhere together at any time. Michael Hayes with the Freebirds and the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith with the team, the British Bulldogs. Him and the Dynamite Kid. So Brutus getting the stairs here, but this is a disqualification. Like, disqualification is on. So, quite a stupid move.
Yeah.
Brutus is in the match now, and they're going for a Doomsday Device, not their finishing move. But Brutus has barely had any sort of
nice
offence
package
against him. Doing a small package there. Bulldog just grabbing the air for some reason. And Brutus got the win.
He clearly wanted to be involved, but couldn't.
Yeah.
Don't leave him out.
6 minutes and 2, quite a long one, that one.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll join Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, and the Legion of Doom in Group B. So they'll just be Kamala and Bam Bam Bigelow versus Big John Studd and King Kong Bundy next week for the last qualifier for Group B. So match number 3 now, and it's another championship defence, this time for the $1 Million Championship. Oh, good, we have a bit of time to talk again now.
Oh, what an entrance.
Yep.
Is that where they're having the fight in? Oh!
Yeah, the tiny little ring. So Stone Cold Steve Austin here, getting to, he was impressive against Arn Anderson in the qualifier for the World Wrestling League. Arn Anderson's really not had a good time lately. He hasn't won a single match as a singles competitor yet. Interesting. To be fair, he's faced 2 of the best ever, but... Alright, here comes the champion. Your favourite theme tune. Legitimately this time.
Yeah, actually it is.
Not accompanied by Bobby Heenan this time. Interesting.
Again, the same kind of an entrance.
Yeah. Both coming in that little tiny rig. Who took the things off there? They just sort of fell off.
Exactly, they just fell off. That's actually what I was looking first with Stone Cold Steve Austin as well.
So this is his second defence. He beat Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior with some really good tactics, I have to say. And he's been champion now for 36 days. That's how long he's held on to this championship that he made up. I said in a previous video that I don't know really how much it was defended, this championship in real life, but I thought I might as well just make it a fourth belt that people can go for. And slight spoiler, this was a really good match. And perhaps the result went slightly differently than I wanted, or I envisioned. But I just left it. I went with it. It was really good. So Stone Cold here, he's just like a house on fire early on. He was really nice Arn Anderson inspired spine buster there. And a Bulldog busts open DiBiase, bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
The action spilled outside. He slammed him through the table. Up to a 7 count, but Austin went straight back out. He doesn't want DiBiase to get counted out. DiBiase here with a bit of a comeback. It went on for quite a while, but I had to cut out most of it because, time. Getting in some really big, powerful moves here.
Yeah.
And going for a pin.
Time.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin loses. Ted DiBiase, for all he uses illegal tactics quite a lot, or cheap tactics sometimes, he managed to win in 5 minutes 47. Just came back with a barrage of big moves and beat one of the best, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That went well.
To be fair to DiBiase, he's a really good technical wrestler. It's just he was always a bad boy, buying his victories and stuff. Right, so it's a Group B qualifier for the World Wrestling League. Quite a big one, this one. Jimmy Hart offering some wise words there to Hulk Hogan. Hogan much larger than Bret Hart and really managing to overpower him quite a lot, but Bret Hart working the legs of Hogan.
Yeah.
Perhaps to so that he can put in a sharpshooter and take Hogan down. Oh
no! Good face.
Bret Hart managed to steal the win there from Hulk Hogan, and he's on a real losing streak now. Only 2 minutes 50. Damn. Another sort of average length match. So Bret Hart joins Ric Flair, Michael Hayes, Big John Studd, Mr. Perfect, Bam Bam Bigelow, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and Ted DiBiase. And it'll be between Koko Beware and Jim Duggan next week for the final place in Group B.
Who will it be?
The most exciting match ever between Jim Duggan and Koko Beware. Oh, another championship match. He does have 30 days to defend.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a weird looking person.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like a 2D in a way, but still not.
Yeah, the crowd looks really terrible in this game. I mean, better than previous games, but for this time, 2009, based on the graphics of the game itself as well, the wrestlers.
Yeah.
The crowd looks so terrible.
We can clearly see that they were concentrating more on the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Not so much on the audience.
Monsieur Perfect here. Another Minnesota boy. Rick Rude's childhood friend.
And again, the ropes just fell.
Yep.
They're really not good quality.
Mr. Perfect was very impressive. He beat Dusty Rhodes recently to qualify for Group B of the World Wrestling League. That was 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, yeah. And even though it was a losing effort, he and Rick Rude were impressive against the Hart Foundation. So he decided to challenge Ric Flair to a submission match. He wanted to prove that he's the better mat wrestler. The better technician. Ric Flair with his belt. The ropes just drop down for him. That's how good he is. Oh, that woman has a beard.
What? Really?
One of the women there had a beard. I'm going to have to try and cut that in here so we can, or at least see if it was real. Really the case.
Maybe she has a very bad menopause or something.
She only looked like, well, I don't know. So this is his Ric Flair's third defense, the most important thing, not some random woman's beard. Poor woman. She might be watching and we've hurt her feelings. He's been champion now for 36 days, just like Ted DiBiase with his $1 million belt.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Perfect getting the early advantage. This match spilled to outside quite often. Flair getting his brain scrambled a bit there, and again getting smacked into the steps.
Oof, I don't think know if there's anything left of his brain.
What, now in real life, or you mean in the game?
Both. Mainly the game.
Put Mr. Perfect through the table there. This game really wasn't a mat classic like you would expect from these two. It was more of just a brawl between two big lads. Beating the excrement out of each other. Mr. Perfect grabbed the belt, and because it's a submission match, there is no disqualification. So that's perfectly legal.
Oh.
Ric Flair bleeding all over the place now. Mr. Perfect here with a nice suplex. Nice little punch to the face and going for his perfect plex, the fisherman suplex. But that's a pinning move. So...
yeah.
Quite stupid, really.
Yep.
Ric Flair with a nice suplex there. Now he's
back
working the legs. Going after those legs of Mr. Perfect and locking in his figure 4 leg lock, the move that couldn't tap out Arn Anderson last week. But this week, Mr. Perfect gives up. Couldn't handle it. So Ric Flair retains in 7 minutes and 24 seconds.
Oh wow, that's a long match.
A ruddy long match. I think that's our second longest match. Probably.
Surprised.
I can't be bothered to look through all the things now, but yeah. So, yes, Flair retains with his bloody face.
Yeah, good face again.
So,
did you see how big his mouth was?
Yeah.
Number one. It was like half of his head.
So yeah, anyway, on that note.
Could stuff a lot of food in it. Sorry, yeah?
See you. Oh, big cock. I'll see you next week.
Whatever you want.
Apparently Ric Flair has quite a large one.
Oh.
Yep.
You've seen it.
Oh yeah, no. It's been discussed in podcasts and stuff.
Okay.
Because that's what people really want to know. I don't know if it's quite the same as Batista's. That's another thing that people want to know. Does Batista have a big cock?
Really?
Yeah. It's a legend. So, anyway. After all this cock discussion, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Two more weeks of primetime wrestling. And maybe more cock discussions. Things that everyone really wants to talk about.
Exactly.